Hi, this message is for Krystal and Saagar from Breaking Points. Love your guys' show. Been following it for a while now, even when you guys were on Rising before. Anyway, this is response to the news on Flint, Michigan's Attorney General blocking the investigation. I like to say it goes a lot deeper than you probably think. The lead is caused by chloramine, and the chloramine issue is a nationwide scandal that has been pretty much undisclosed for decades now. It was introduced in 2005 and recklessly and unethically by the EPA administration at the time, despite the warnings of other large health organizations like the WHO and even previous EPA administrations. It disrecommended chloramine for several reasons. Chloramine is a poor substitute for chlorine because it doesn't do as good a job at disinfecting. It was also known to cause many autoimmune and respiratory issues in mice, and sure enough, it also caused those same problems in humans. Um, the EPA thought at a low dosage, below 3 parts per million, to be safe, but they didn't do very good extensive testing. Um, and now we have many epidemics of that. Myself included, I have been chronically ill from the effects of chloramine since 2005. I have lived with severe allergic reactions, and I have been on severe um, autoimmune type medication like prednisone for over a decade. It is very serious stuff. And so, what chloramine does also is that it dissolves lead. And since there are a lot of cities, older cities, with lead pipes, the even at less than 3 parts per million, the chloramine would dissolve the lead. The lead would get in people's water, and they would drink it, and thus they would get lead poisoning. Duke University did a study even back in the late 2000s on what happened to Washington, D.C. when they implemented chloramine. Now, I just read from Harvard. Harvard did a review on Flint, Michigan. So here we have this substance, chloramine, which is toxic, destructive, because you have to replace the lead pipes. Otherwise, you get the collapse of the system, like in Flint, Michigan. It's also toxic to aquatic life, and it's also deadly to people with kidney dialysis. A lot of bad problems with it, and barely even talked about. And it's just been sitting here nationwide for decades, while people like me suffer. To make it even worse, chloramine is extremely hard to filter out, pretty much impossible at the residential level. Many water companies claim they can filter out chloramine because they assume that chloramine is the same chemistry as chlorine. Not, it's entirely different, totally different. I was trying all sorts of products back in the day when I was trying to find a solution. For me, it's through showering. Some other people, they get the poisoning through, or the effects of the poisoning through drinking. But for me, with showering, that's a big challenge because a shower flow rate is very high compared to a trickle that you might just need for drinking. Um, and thus, to filter it out real time or very quickly is impossible. The only solution we found was to find a person who does desalinization, and we threw everything, including the kitchen sink, at it. All types of filtration technologies, and only by their forces combined were we able to filter out chloramine at even just a flow rate of probably, I don't know, a quart an hour. It takes hours and hours to fill the basin up just to have enough to shower. And by now, the chloramine has done so much damage to my immune system that I have this manifested in my skin. Even with all the drugs suppressing the allergic reaction, I still have severe eczema. I need this clean shower, and there's really not much I can do. So anyway, I hope you guys look into it. It's a really, it's a big one, and I think it'll be very newsworthy. Anyway, thanks a lot. Thanks for doing good work, and keep it up.